Hey guys, tonight we're drifting back to Mount Olympus. Yes, the divine penthouse suite of ancient Greece, right in the middle of a very inconvenient thunderstorm. Picture this, lightning illuminating columns of ivory and gold, while thunder rolls like an angry drum solo across the sky. You're standing barefoot on the marble floor, slightly damp, very underdressed for the occasion, and thoroughly ignored by the bickering immortals around you. Apollo is loudly tuning his lyre with way too much flair, Dionysus is arguing with a nymph about wine purity, and Athena, well, she's off to the side, unusually quiet for once. You probably won't survive this. Not because of the lightning or divine wrath, but because if you sneeze, someone might turn you into a laurel tree. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you're still awake enough, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is. Olympus has no clocks, and I'm curious. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You step carefully past a golden peacock and a drowsy three-headed dog curled up by the fountain. At the heart of the celestial court, the gods are in one of their classic debates, something to do with mortals and whether music is corrupting their souls or just giving them delusions of grandeur. You don't say anything, obviously. You're here for the vibes, not to get zapped into a constellation. Amid the din, your attention drifts to Athena. Her helmet sits at her feet. Her owl blinks from her shoulder, and she's quietly fiddling with a slender reed she found on a mortal's flute-making bench. She doesn't usually deal in melody, strategy, justice, and olive trees are more her wheelhouse, but tonight, something about that hollow stem of wood catches her attention. Maybe it's the shape. Maybe it's the way the wind makes it sing when she blows across the opening. The sound is soft, a bit eerie, like wind whispering through a keyhole or the first cry of a sleepy baby satyr. You inch closer. Gently, slowly, like you're approaching a cat who may or may not want to be pet, and you watch as Athena purses her lips and tries again. This time, it whistles. A few gods pause to glance over. Hermes chuckles. Aphrodite smirks behind a pomegranate. But Athena doesn't seem to care. She's in her own head now, curious, focused. She holds the reed at different angles, adjusts her breath, tries blowing harder, softer. The air responds in different notes, high and low, thin and mellow. Historians still argue whether this moment, this divine curiosity, was the actual origin of the aulos, the ancient Greek flute. Some say flute-like instruments already existed among mortals. Others insist Athena invented it entirely, and mortals just ran with the idea. Either way, you're standing next to a goddess who's about to make history, armed with nothing but a stick and excellent posture. There's something sleepy about the moment. The thunder fades into a soft grumble in the distance. The other gods go back to their bickering, and Athena retreats to a balcony that overlooks the mortal world. You follow her. She sits cross-legged, back straight, eyes closed, and starts blowing the flute with more confidence now. Still no melody, just breath and tone, shaping air into quiet sound. You sit beside her. The marble is cool. The breeze smells like laurel and ozone. And for the first time since you arrived, Olympus is quiet. Well, except for Apollo. He's still plucking aggressively at his lyre and pretending not to be jealous. You get the feeling he's already planning a passive-aggressive poetry slam. Now, here's a fun fringe detail. Some old scrolls suggest Athena wasn't inventing music so much as trying to imitate the mournful wails of the Gorgons after Perseus did his whole sword-meets-snake-haired sister thing. It's poetic. In a tragic, deeply Greek sort of way, music born from mourning, shaped by breath, and passed on through myth. But of course, we'll never really know what she was thinking. Gods don't tend to leave diaries. You lean back, let the soft hum of her notes drift into the stars, and start to wonder what this reed will become. An instrument? A joke among the gods? A legacy? The next morning, if you can call it morning, in a place where the sun only rises when Apollo feels like it, you find Athena still on that same balcony, still turning the reed flute over in her hands. The sound has improved a little overnight. Either her embouchure has gotten better, or the instrument's grown more patient with her. You can hear it now, a kind of soft warble, like a pigeon sighing into a breeze. She doesn't smile. Athena rarely does, but her brow isn't quite as furrowed as usual. She seems pleased in a quiet, stubborn way, like someone who just figured out how to open a new kind of lock. You inch a bit closer, and this time, she doesn't shoo you away. You're invited into the moment, silent, unimportant, but present. Athena's owl, perched now on the ledge, blinks slowly. A small breeze lifts the edge of her tunic. She places the reed against her lips again, this time adjusting her fingers more deliberately over a few carved holes. A note sings out, slightly sharper, a little clearer. She raises one eyebrow. That one worked. You watch her repeat the motion, slowly now, trying different hole combinations, blowing with more or less force. The flute starts to speak in different tones. Still primitive, but undeniably music. Here's the thing. Gods don't usually tinker. That's more of a mortal activity. Gods create in flashes, births of cities, sparks of storms, entire forests erupting from a single footstep. But this is mortal-level curiosity. Trial, error, adjustment, repeat. It's weirdly comforting to see a goddess get it wrong the first 10 times before she gets it right. Historians still argue whether this reflects an older version of Athena, a more human, flawed inventor, or if the story was reshaped over time to make her more relatable to mortals. Either way, what you're witnessing feels delicate, intimate. Even divine beings, apparently, need practice. You stretch your legs and wander a bit farther from the balcony. Just down the corridor, you find a small alcove decorated with murals, faded now but clearly depicting scenes of music. There's Apollo again, smug as ever, lyre in hand, muses dancing around him. But tucked into the corner is a lesser-known figure, a mortal, or maybe a nymph, playing a double reed flute. Her cheeks puffed, hair wild, eyes wide with the strain of breath. It seems this flute has existed longer than Olympus wants to admit. You return to Athena just in time to hear her emit what might generously be called a melody. It's a jagged little tune, half accidental, half instinct, but it loops and she repeats it. You notice something else too, the way her body changes while she plays. Her face tightens, her cheeks puff, her eyes narrow. It's not graceful, it's not pretty, it's kind of awkward. And then you see it, a polished bronze shield propped against the wall, catching her reflection. She sees it too, her own face, distorted slightly by the curve of the metal, cheeks ballooned like a frog, eyes scrunched like someone mid-sneeze. She stops playing. There's a long pause. Then she frowns. Not the kind of frown you give to a poorly drawn battle plan, but the deep, slow burn of wounded dignity. She lowers the flute, looks at it, looks at the shield again, blows one more note, glances back. It's not good. You can almost hear her thoughts. This is not the look of a goddess of wisdom. This is not the serene face of someone mortals should model statues after. This is unfortunate. And so, with an air of profound disappointment, Athena rises, walks to the edge of the balcony, and with the elegance only a goddess can muster, she hurls the flute down toward earth. It spins through the air, caught by wind, cartwheeling down into mortal territory, somewhere far below in the hills of Phrygia. She dusts off her hands. That's that. The owl hoots once, as if to say, well, that was dramatic. You step cautiously back, not wanting to make eye contact. In the myth, Athena never takes credit for inventing the flute. She distances herself from it completely. To this day, flute players are rarely associated with wisdom or strategy, just awkward cheeks and unfortunate posture. But that doesn't stop mortals, of course. One satyr in particular has been watching very closely from down below, right near the spot where that flute is about to land.